So let's start with this Geiger-Marsden experiment, or rather for Goldfoil experiment. This is, let's see what you can do with this experiment. You see, Goldfoil, gold is 118 AU, gold is, yeah, AU I think, AU 79. Okay, this is the chemical symbol of gold. Now, so in Geiger-Marsden experiment, what happened is that we have a container. We have a container here. This container has a small opening. There is a small gold thin film is placed there, and alpha particles is allowed to come from a distance, and then what happened? It gets scattered in different angle, either like this, in different angle it gets scattered. Now there are certain electrons, certain alpha particles. What will happen is that that is very less, that is, this alpha particle will retrace its path backward. So if it came this way, it will go back like this. So that means, if I look at the picture more properly, if this is the gold nucleus, so if any alpha particle is coming on a head-on collision with this, what will happen? It is going to come to a certain distance, and after that it is going to retrace its path backward. Up to R0 it will come, and then it will retrace its path backward. Correct? Now my question is, can we determine this value? How much is this R0? Because we know, let us use some data from the net. Let us go to this Geiger-Marsden experiment. Let me go to the wiki, or alpha particle scattering. Let me go to the Goldfoil experiment, and this is the one. You can see this is the one we are discussing here. We will be again redoing this in class in one more chapter. Now what I am interested in this equation, not here actually, so just a minute. Yeah, we can get the value, that is the theta, scattering angle theta. I am interested in this one. Velocity of the alpha particle is this much. Okay, so the alpha particle is coming with a velocity of how much? 1.53 into 10 to the power 7 meter per second. 1.53 into 10 to the power 7. Can you see how large is this velocity? Now my question is, what is and also one more thing we need to calculate here. We need to take the mass of alpha particle as well. 6.645 into 10 to the minus 27 kg. 6.645 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. That's well and good. So we have got these two values. Now what I like to know, what is this distance? How can we calculate this distance? Okay, what is this impact? Up to how far then it came back? We can say that it is almost the boundary of the atom, right? So so how can I use this expression? Now at this point, we can use the concept of conservation of energy here. So conservation of energy states the total energy is always conservation of mechanical energy. That means here, whatever initial energy the alpha particle has and whatever the system, they should be same only. Then can I say that ui plus kinetic energy U initial plus kinetic energy initial is equals to U final plus kinetic energy final. Then can I write, definitely the potential energy, the alpha particle is in constant motion, right? So it is constant motion. As it is constant motion, that means it has only kinetic energy. Then can I write half m v square at this point? At this point, half m v square will be equals to how much? The potential energy of the system, because the kinetic energy is gradually getting converted into the potential energy of the system as it comes more and more close. At this point, the kinetic energy will completely get converted into the potential energy of the system. So then half mv square, can I write this as k q1 q2 by r naught? Now what is q1? Q1 will be the charge on the nucleus of the gold foil. So how much is that? Z is equal to 79 here. So it is Ze actually. The charge will be equal to Z into E. So that I will write this as 79E. What about the alpha particle? For alpha particle it would be what? For alpha particle it is how much? 4He to 4He2. That means it is 2E. So 2 into E. That means equation now becomes what? Half mv square is equal to k 79 into 2 e square divided by r naught. So I think from this equation we can easily determine what is the value of r naught. How close does it go? How close the alpha particle can penetrate close to the atom? Understand? So we can easily find this. So we can, how will you do it? So r naught will be 9 into 10 to the power 9 into 79 into 29 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided into 2 divided by mass of the alpha particle. Mass of the alpha particle is 6.645 into 10 to the power minus 27 into velocity. Velocity I have taken, this is 1.5 into 10 to the power 7. 1.5 into 10 to the power 7. Can you please solve and tell me how much is this r naught? I request all of you to please solve this and tell me how much is this value r naught. Calculate this. Have you done? Please give your attendance who has recently joined. Are you solving? Done. Nivedita, have you done? Naki, are you doing? Come on, please respond. Nivedita, are you doing? Babian, are you doing? Are you solving? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Give me the answer. So most probably this would be Yash. Are you doing? Yash Sharma, are you doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are going to revisit this chapter once again in atoms chapter. Okay. So your value should be, let's see, it is how much you get R naught. Your value should be equals to this. This is the radius of the gold foil. Can you correlate this equation now? Look at this. Everyone look at this. Can you see this equation? K2QA Q alpha and Q nucleus by M naught R V naught square. Isn't this what you are doing? Your value should be close to this one, 1.44 into 10 to the power minus 10. This is the approximate diameter. We can take this, the diameter of the gold nucleus. Radius. I think it is, sorry, what I'm saying. Radius of the gold atom, sorry, yeah, radius of the gold atom, because this is the closest we can, alpha particle can penetrate into the atom. So your R should be close to that value. Let's see you get or not. R should be 1.44 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. That means 1.44 angstrom. How much? Oh, it's a V square. One more will be there. One more 5 will be there. 10 to the power. So let me do it. Wait. So 9 into 79 into 29 into 2 into 1.6, okay, divided by 6.645 into 1.5 into 1.5. That gives me 4.444. No, how come? Again, let me check it. 9 into 79 into half 2 mv square. Yeah, or not. So 79 into 29 into 1.6 into 2. 79 into 29, 1.6 into 2 divided by, did anyone get? This as 4. I'm getting this as 4. 1.44. No, 1.44. I'm getting this as 4413. Where is the mistake? Square are not. Okay. Minus 19 e square. So 9 into 79 into 29. Leave it, I am doing 1.6 into 2 into 1.6. Yeah, divided by, now it will come 6.645 into 1.5 into 1.5. That gives me, how come? Last time I got it. 9, 17, 29, 1.6, 1.6 into 2, 9 into 1.6 into 1.6 into 2. Okay.
So it's 2e.
Yeah, 2e square. It is 79 into 2 into e square, na? Why I am taking this 29 here? Okay. Why I am taking this 29? It's 2, na?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. That's why I was thinking, how come so big? So 9 into 79 into 2, that means there is also 2, okay, into 1.6 into 1.6 into 2, yeah, divided by 6.645 into 6.645 into 6.645 into 1.5 into 1.5. That is giving me, yeah, now it is coming, na? Yeah, that is coming as 1.4. So this is not coming. How come? 9 into 79 into 79 into 4 into 4 into 1.6 into 1.6. Yeah, fine. 9 into 79 into 4 into 1.6 into 1.6 divided by 6.645 into 1.5 into 1.5. Close. Wait, I am getting this as 7280 into 64. Then 6.645 into 1.5 into 1.5. Yeah, that gives me this. No. Please do this. I think I am doing some mistake somewhere. But if you solve this, you should get this value. Boundary of the atom. Yeah. Okay. E square 1.6 and minus 19 coulomb, 79 into 2e. half mv square. Any other mistake I am doing? No, I think m v square, mass of alpha particle I have taken correctly, 61645. Okay, 2e is that, 79e is that. Okay, fine. So anyway, it is correct. I think I don't know where I am doing the mistake. You can see the relation also here. This thing, it is right only. Maybe we are doing somewhere mistake somewhere. I don't know where it is. That 1.26 is positive charge of gold atom. I don't know where I am doing the mistake, but it should give you, when you solve this one should give you the boundary of the atom, boundary of the gold atom. That is coming to 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 10. You should get this value. 1.44 or 1.5, 1.44 into 10 to the minus 10 meter. You should get at least close to this value. That is the radius of the gold atom. Okay, 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Please check this answer properly. Let me not waste time in doing this. So you see, this is where we are applying the concept of potential energy of the system. Okay, the one which I have taught you yesterday. Clear? Let's proceed to now equipotential surface. What are equipotential surfaces? Equipotential surfaces. What are they? Let's see. So, equipotential surfaces. Now you have noticed one thing, that let us say that this is a plus charge, plus q charge. We know electric field line starts from here like this and goes out in all direction, electric field lines. Now if I place any surface in between, consider any surface, we will defining this surface more properly. Now any surface, equipotential, any surface, if you look closely, let's say the electric field enters this surface and leaves the surface perpendicularly. Let's say this surface enters the electric field, enters the surface perpendicularly and also leaves the surface perpendicularly. That means this angle is 90. Now if such is the case, if I take any charge here, let's say plus q naught here, if I take any charge q naught here, A, and try to move it up to B, how much work will I do? If you look closely, in case of equipotential surface, as the electric field, we know work done in such surface, you see, we know work done would be force into displacement. Okay, so let's say this displacement is dx. So work done would be force into displacement. Now force I can write, I am taking a charge q naught, let's say q naught from A to B. So then work done would be q naught into electric field dot dx. Now what is the angle between displacement and electric field? So electric field is this side and you are going, displacement is on from A to B. Don't you think they are mutually perpendicular to each other? So can I write q naught E dx cos of 90? That means what? Work done is 0, right? So a surface where work done to take any charge is 0, we will call such surface as equipotential surface. Now you may find it difficult. Let us bring it to our real life situation. Imagine this is a house. This is a house. These are the two floors of the house. This is first floor and this is the second floor. This is the second floor. Tell me, when do you have to spend more energy? Walking within a floor or going from one floor to the second floor, from first floor to the second floor? When do you have to spend more energy? When do you think you have to spend more energy? Walking on the floor, same floor, is it easier for you, or walking, going up and coming down, that is more easier for you? Which one do you feel more easy? Please respond. Are you getting my point here, what I am explaining? If you are within a single floor and when you are going from one floor to the second floor, in which case do you spend more energy? Going to the top floor or staying within the same floor you spend more energy? Which floor?
Within the same floor, no, sir?
Within the same floor you spend more energy?
No, less energy.
Less energy. You don't get tired within that floor, right? Now can you imagine why is that? Can you imagine all the time as we are walking around, we are working against the gravitational force, right? So when you are going up, you have to do some work to go up, right? So you have to spend some energy. Remember that. As you go up to this floor, don't forget this example. As you are going up to the floor, what is happening? You are increasing your potential energy, because as soon as the floor vanishes, you will drop to the ground. So you are increasing the potential energy or not? So U being what? Plus. As you are going up and up, plus. But within a floor, that particular U is constant there. Again I go one floor up, it becomes constant. It becomes it increased by some more amount. Right or not? Correct? This situation, look here. So those surfaces where electric field is perpendicular, is threading or going through the surface perpendicularly, we will call such surface a equipotential surface. Why? The potential is same everywhere on this surface. Same here in this. The gravitational potential is same everywhere on this surface. So you don't feel any extra urge of work. But as soon as you go to the next floor, the potential is different here. So you have to perform some work to go there. Right? Now, pay attention here. I give you two surfaces here. Understand the concept properly. This video will be available today in my site. You can review it again and again. Now I consider two surfaces. Two equipotential surfaces, and in both the surface the electric field threads perpendicularly. Okay, it comes out perpendicularly like this. So it is coming out perpendicularly. The electric field lines are coming out perpendicularly to the surface. So it's fine. A charge Q0 is there, which is happy moving around here. It can go any path, but no work. Now the charge decides to go from this surface 1 to go to this surface 2. Then what do you think will happen now? You will have to do some work or not? You have to take some work, because now there is a potential, because if this is V1, this is V2. Similarly here the potential is V1 and you need some more potential to go up, that is V2. If you are not capable enough, if you are not fit enough to go to the 108th floor walking, will you be able to go there by taking the steps and go to the 100th floor? Because you don't have that potential to go there. Every floor has its own respective potential. You must have that physical capability to go to that particular floor. To go to the 50th floor, you must have a potential to go to the 50th floor. If you are not physically capable, you cannot bear that. Can I say like that? Is it or not? So every floor has its own potential. Similarly, look here. Now two surfaces. So now when the charge is taken from surface 1 to surface 2, what will happen? Tell me. Is the potential will decrease or increase? Now here is the important question to understand. Compare these two situations here, 1 and 2. In this case, when you are going up, what is happening? Potential energy is building. It is getting more and more positive. How can you say? As if the container is getting more and more filled and waiting for you to just open the bucket and it will burst. It is something like that. So as you are going more and more up, it is just the weight, just is the time, as soon as you run out of floor, you will fall. Am I right or not? In this case, the positive charge is here on the left hand side and you are taking the charge on the right side. That means you are going away from plus charge. So what is happening to this potential? Look at this situation. If a plus q charge is here and a plus q charge is here, if you are bringing the plus q towards this plus q, what is happening to the potential energy of the system? Is it getting positive or is it getting negative? Can you answer me this? Is it increasing or decreasing? The potential energy of the system is increasing or decreasing if you are bringing plus q towards a plus q? Tell me. Who can try? Is the potential is increasing or decreasing? Are you getting what I am trying to explain you? Please participate. What do you think? The potential of the system is...
Sir,
Yeah, say?
it's increasing
It increasing. How can you say it's increasing?
because if more close, the potential energy is building up. So
Yes, very good. It's building up. Right? So is this time U is what? Positive. The sign of U will be positive or negative? Sign of U will be
positive.
positive. And if you are taking the charge away from the another plus charge, what is happening? What should happen? The potential is gradually decreasing, right? It is falling out. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
That means its sign should be what? Negative. Correct? So do you understand the concept of plus potential energy and minus potential energy? Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
That means when I am taking a charge from plus Q to minus, from plus S1 to S2, potential is also decreasing. Right or not? Okay? So when I establish a relation, when I establish this relation with regarding electric field and potential, I am going to write this equation. Minus dV by dx. But it can also be written as dV by dx. Means I can write like this. E equals to, what is x? This is x. That's it. Can I write this now? Minus V. I will show you how I have written this. I will show you. But can I write this E is minus x? You will see. So when I write minus, you should understand you are going from a region of strong electric field to a region of what? Weak electric field. And when I am writing this as plus V by x, you should understand that you are going from lower to higher. That means you are building the potential energy of the system. Am I able to explain you? Because this is a very, very detailed concept, very concrete concept of this chapter, very, very hard concept of this chapter, and it will be applied throughout, from in current electricity, in whenever we deal with potential energy. Are you getting my point? So what are equipotential surface can I conclude from now? So I can say that equipotential surfaces are those surfaces in which the electric field line is perpendicular to that surface. Okay? It enters the surface perpendicular and it leaves the surface perpendicular. Understand? In equipotential surface, the potential is constant anywhere. If you take 2 point, it would be constant or 0, because here the potential is same, it is 2 volt only. Take any 2 point, it will be always VA minus VB will be always give you 0, and that is why it is giving you what? Work done also equals to 0. So work done to displace any charge on the surface will be 0. Clear? So this is the concept of equipotential surface. Now Why do we need equipotential surface, and where do we see equipotential? I'm going to give you thorough notes on it. Wait a minute, and let me discuss the concept with you. So, why do you see this equipotential surface? Now, take a charge sphere. We are discussing charge spheres every time. In a charge sphere, you have seen plus charges are placed over it. So, isn't this for charge surfaces, the electric field lines are always perpendicularly coming out like this way? Is it or not? Correct? That means this sphere is also an equipotential surface, because here all the electric field lines is perpendicular to the surface. So moving any charge over this surface will be zero only. If I take this surface from here to here, no work done. No work done. Take from here to here, because every time the electric field is threading perpendicular to the surface. So let us now write what is equipotential surface. So equipotential surfaces are those surfaces, equipotential surfaces are surfaces with constant potential. Okay? Equipotential surfaces are surfaces with constant potential or zero potential difference, okay? Electric field lines are always perpendicular to such surfaces. Electric field lines are always perpendicular to such surfaces. So, hence, work done to displace any charge Q naught over the surface is zero. So I'll explain it to you. Imagine this is any surface. So these are all the electric field lines. These are the electric field lines of the surface. I am not drawing a plane surface as shown as is shown everywhere. Now you consider any 2 points. It can be any kind of surface. Consider 2 points. The distance between these two surfaces is dx. This distance is dx. Okay. So point A, point B. You can say in many ways. You can say 2 ways you can explain this. We know VAB will be work done to take a charge from A to B by the charge Q naught. So you can write WAB is equal to VAB into Q naught. But VAB, what can you write? VA minus VB equals to Z into Q naught. But I said what? Potential difference. Zero potential difference. Clearly, definitely, at this point it is 2. If I take this surface, the potential at this point is 2 volt, and the potential here is also 2 volt. So 2 volt minus 2 volt is 0 only, right? So VA minus VB is equal to 0. So that means work done is 0. This is one way you can explain it. And another way you can explain is that by the one which I taught you, the work done. The work done, AB, will be given by force into displacement, force dot displacement. Now electric field is always perpendicular to the surface. That means E vector Q naught E dot dx. So then Q naught E dx cos of 90. That gives me 0. Hence the work done is 0. So any of the way you can explain that if I take any charge which is moved from A to B, the work done will be 0. Clear? This is how we can explain it. So this is the condition of, this is what are equipotential surface. So what is an equipotential surface? Tomorrow we'll learn the properties of equipotential surface. So what is an equipotential surface then? Did you understand equipotential surface?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you are, if you are in the second floor, is it equipotential surface? I know it's gravitational equipotential surface. Can you agree with that?
Yes.
It is a gravitational equipotential surface because you are under the gravitational force and you do not need to perform any extra work to move around the floor. But when you go from one floor to other, you get tired. Right? You have to spend some energy to go up. So this proves that you are, those two, every floor is a gravitational equipotential surface. Understand? Thank you. Tomorrow we are going to learn the properties of gravitational equipotential surface and we will establish the relation between electric field and equipotential surface. Don't forget this today's concept. When two charges come close, same kind of charges come close, potential energy of the system increases. And when it goes away, potential energy decreases. Now think about when a plus and minus charge come, then what will happen? Is the potential energy increasing or decreasing? When they are coming close, a plus charge and a minus charge is coming close. Is it true like for that also or is it different? Is a sign alternates? What is it? Think about it. Okay? I leave that for you to decide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you.